All right, let's get into the news. So, first of all, of course, we had the PlayStation State of Play today, and there's a whole bunch of different announcements here. We're not going to cover every single thing, but we will cover some highlights of ours individually. So, why don't you start us off?
All right, so I'm going to start off with one which I think is just a me one, or it might be just me. Um, this is Warriors Abyss. Now, I'm not a Warriors type of person, Dynasty Warriors person. I mean, only Warriors type of game that I've played was Berserk and the Band of the Hawk, and that was just because it was a Berserk game. And I mean, the style of game is fine, but unless there's something you really like if you want to play Hyrule Warriors, like you're playing that because it's a Zelda game. That, but I mean, unless you really just like Warriors games, you're not really gonna be interested in them. Now, this one really stuck out to me because of the fact that it's a roguelike, and
Yeah.
I thought that makes it different enough that's actually interesting to me. And so I mean, I'm interested in this game. I don't know if I'll get it because for one thing, actually, this game shadow dropped. Like as they announced it, they also said it's releasing right now, and also it's not expensive. I think it's reasonably priced. It's $25. Well, starts at $25. If you want to get the deluxe edition, it's $40. If you want to get the ultimate edition, it's $80. I'm not paying that much money for this game, but I mean, for $25, I think that's pretty reasonable. I might still wait for something like a sale, maybe when it's more like $20, maybe $17. But like I said, it seems different enough, and to the point where, yeah, it's a Warriors game, but it also does something different, and it's not just the regular hack and slash type of game. So
Right.
that's why this game really stuck out to me in the midst of everything else.
Yeah, when I saw this, it just made me think of games you've been playing, like Vampire Survivors and what's that other one? The one that's the Diablo style?
Halls of Torment.
Halls of Torment, yes. So
Yeah,
when I
Yeah,
saw
that's
that,
another
I was like,
reason why.
that definitely made me think of you. And I mean, I think it has the potential to be fun, but it's one of those where I don't like Warriors games. I mean, like I tried Hyrule Warriors and I got into it for a bit, but it just got very, very repetitive and very annoying. Just how repetitive it was. And I even gave it a second try getting the 3DS version because I thought, okay, well that will give me more motivation to play than the Wii U version because of the fact that, I can play it anywhere. And I got even less far in the 3DS version. I mean, granted, the 3DS version didn't exactly run well, but yeah. So and I do have a couple others. Like I got Fire Emblem Warriors on the 3DS more just because I wanted, when I was collecting physical games there at the end when the eShop was shutting down and all that. I guess Persona 5 Strikers is technically a Warriors type game, but there's more to it than a typical one, and there's actual like story and so on and so forth, and it just what I played of it, it's definitely better than the other ones that I played, but I don't know. I still am just not a huge fan of that type of thing. This does look better just because of the fact that it has, just the the Vampire Survivors kind of thing. I still would say the likelihood that I would get this game is slim to none. Now, if I won the game like in a raffle or something, sure, I'd check it out. But otherwise, I'm just like, meh, whatever. But there was another game that showed up that piqued my interest more than I expected it to, and that is Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. Now, the reason why I didn't expect this to pique my interest is because I loved Sonic Racing, All-Stars Racing Transformed. I absolutely loved it. I thought that it was in many ways a better game than Mario Kart 8 because there's just so much more you can do. And early on in the Wii U life cycle, there was no Mario Kart, and so it's like, okay, well, I'll check this out. Ended up really enjoying it, and then eventually got it on PC and played it a bunch there as well, and still really enjoy it. But with Sonic Team Racing, it looked like they got rid of all of like the transforming aspects, and I could be wrong on that. But it just like the thing that I thought was so great about All Stars Racing Transformed was the fact that you had these different vehicle forms, and then of course you had all the extra single player stuff and so on and so forth that made it really fun. But this one brings back those transforming things and adds additional ones from the looks of it. Like they add, so originally it was just you had a car, a boat, and then a plane. Now you also have like an off-roader, and you have like a skateboard kind of thing, and it's just, and then you're like going through portals to go to different worlds. And I mean like the tracks in All Stars Racing Transformed were fantastic, and I can already see some of those are back for this one, as well as new ones. But yeah, I'm actually very, very interested in this, and I think that it'll be a fun one to play with the kids too, and just play solo because I mean I thought that the single player content in the other one was really good, and I could see myself, as long as this one has equally compelling single player content, I am very interested. I don't know what kind of engine it's going to run in, whether it's going to run well on the Steam Deck. I hope it does, because that would just be fantastic. I don't think I've ever tried out Transformed on the Steam Deck. Maybe one of these days I just need to install it and see how it runs. Because it should run well since it was originally a PS3 and 360 game. But anyway.
Okay, so hearing you recommend this makes me kind of want to check out Transform, just because I guess I really didn't play too many, I guess you could say, the good Sonic racing games. I played Sonic Riders, and I played Sonic R, and that was just as a joke because I already knew the game was it's infamous for not being good.
Yeah.
But I didn't play Transform, and so I mean, like, hearing you say it's better than Mario Kart 8, which I thought was pretty good.
I mean, to be fair, like, when I say it's better than Mario Kart 8, I don't necessarily mean that it controls better, because I couldn't quite say that, but it has a lot more depth than Mario Kart 8.
Okay.
And it has like level. I mean, you can level up the different racers and their carts and stuff. And there's a bunch of like single player challenges and stuff like that. And you can go for higher level races, which of course you can do that in Mario Kart as well. But that gets you rewards, which also enables you to unlock new racers and unlock new tracks and so on and so forth. And just the tracks at least in Transformed were really great. Even as someone who wasn't necessarily familiar with a lot of those Sega franchises, just I enjoyed the tracks. They were just so well designed. But I mean, I would definitely say if you're going to get Transformed, just find a really cheap copy, because of course there's this new one coming out, and this one's probably going to be similar, if not even better. So.
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely have to look into that then, because I really passed over that game just because I didn't really give much thought to it. Like I said, beforehand, played Sonic R as a joke, but Sonic Riders, that was like, it was okay, but it wasn't something that I would say, yeah, it's a great racing game. But yeah, so I guess I'll definitely have to check this one out then. Both the Transformed and this upcoming one as well, and I'll definitely have that on my radar. So thank you for suggesting this game, because I never would have thought about giving it a shot in the first place.
Good. Well, I hope you end up liking it because yeah, I mean it's one that is in my Steam favorites list because I really like the game. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So, granted, I've never gotten all the achievements or anything, but you know, I go back to it occasionally, and of course now with this new one coming out, I probably won't end up going back to Transformed unless I'm just in the mood to play it. I mean, I might even just install it and mess with it in the next week. But yeah. All right, what's your next game?
All right, so the next game is Lost Soul Aside. At first, when I saw this game, well, to be honest, I'll be honest. For a lot of the games, I'll be honest, I was not expecting to also have them come over to PC as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I saw this, I thought, okay, this is just gonna be for PlayStation. But no, this game actually is coming into PC as well.
Mm-hmm.
And this one seems to be more like a hack and slash type of game, or maybe not completely hack and slash, but definitely more action based than you'll see a lot of games which sort of are aiming for slower, possibly like Souls like approach, but this one's more just like more action oriented than other games we've been seeing. And it looks pretty good. Style reminds me kind of like a newer Final Fantasy type of game, like Final Fantasy 12, 13, something like that. Definitely looks interesting. I've added it to my Steam wish list, and I'm looking forward to giving this game a shot.
Yeah, I had heard about this one probably like I don't know, a few months ago or something. And I mean, this one I guess was announced a long time ago and was even said that it was coming to PC way back then, that it was going to be day one on PC. So I did know that it was going to be on PC day one, which is funny because of course it's being funded by Sony. So, but yeah, I think the game looks cool as well, and I also have it added to my Steam wish list. Probably not like a day one thing by any stretch because I just have too many games, but it does look cool, and I like the fact that it's coming to PC on the same day. So, but yeah. Next game for me, we got the videos here, is, to no one's surprise, Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater got its release date trailer for August 28th. And I do want to note, just real quick, anyone watching the video version, some of these trailers are really low resolution because the service that I use to download the trailers, some of them, for some reason today, are just all downloading at 360p, even when I have it set to 1080 or 1440. It's like, so it's a very low resolution. But anyway, it still looks amazing. I'm just watching this. It's like it has me so hyped. I just hope it's gonna run well because it looks incredible. Like the way it recaptured the stuff from the original version of the game, or versions, because there's also the 3DS remake, but it's just like I love Snake Eater. It's such a great game, and I'm super excited about this one. Of course, it's releasing on all platforms on August 28th. No confirmation yet of Switch 2, but it's possible it could be there at the same time. That may even be why it didn't come out last year, but I don't know if I have anything more to say about it. I'm just very glad that there is a release date, that it's not too soon. I have plenty of time to prepare myself, and looking forward to it.
I think, to no one's surprise, it's going to be a day one.
Yeah. I mean, it's day one everywhere. I mean, PS5.
No, I mean day one purchase for you.
It should be, yeah, most likely, as long as it's not ridiculous on the price. I mean, I think that this is one. Well, I was going to say I'd be willing to pay $70 for it, although realistically, it's probably going to be on Green Man Gaming, and then it'll be cheaper. So,
Oh, yeah, I probably would have to go there because I was just looking at now, and based on the Steam page, it is 70.
yeah.
I see the prices available now.
So yeah, I'll check Green Man Gaming, and most likely it will be a day one purchase for me. I mean, theoretically, it should still run well enough on my hardware, even though it's an Unreal Engine 5. But, I mean, if they can get this running decently on PS5, there's really no reason that it shouldn't be able to run. Well, I just hope they don't require ray tracing. If they require ray tracing, I'm just going to go down to Konami headquarters and smack somebody upside the head. It's like, don't require ray tracing. Yes, exactly. That's right. Exactly. Yeah. But I mean, like watching all the different sequences in this, it's like I remember every one of these sequences, like just by watching them. Like, yeah, I remember that. And like all these things that are going to control way better with modern controls. And I mean, even if they just made it control as well as it does in Metal Gear Solid 5, that would be incredible. It would be a huge improvement over the original because, of course, I played it on Vita first, and then I played it twice on 3DS. And it worked, but it wasn't great. And, you know, being able to play it even just with a full-size real controller would be great. Mouse and keyboard for some sections would probably be great too, but I probably would just do mostly controller. So, anyway, I'm excited.
Now, what I definitely agree. It's great that we've gotten this release date, and I'll be honest. I mean, I could be wrong, but it doesn't seem like it was necessarily too long ago when the game was initially announced. Like, it's been what, 2 years, 3 at most?
Yeah, I think it was 2023. Pretty sure.
Yeah, so I mean, the development phase has been very good, especially compared with a lot of other games that we've heard announcements of. Nothing has happened, or, several years before we get an update on something, and the fact that we had the game announced, we had something shown last year, and now it's coming out this year. So I think that, Konami did a great job with, timing everything out as far as announcing the game, showing off some stuff. Boom, here's when we're releasing it. So kudos to them. They did a great job with this. So a lot of other publishers could definitely learn a thing or two from them in that aspect.
Nope.
But yeah, the game definitely does look amazing though, and I might pick it up because I never finished the original Snake Eater. I played it on the 3DS, but I never got all the way through. So I might give this a shot.
Yep. All right, give me your next game.
All right. Next game is going to be Lies of P Overture. Now, I have not played the original Lies of P, so I still need to finish. I mean, I have the game. It's just one of those backlog cases, and it definitely was one that I was interested in, though. I mean, because it's a Souls-like, but also I was intrigued in the aspect that it's sort of very loosely based off, Pinocchio.
Mm-hmm.
So I was intrigued on sort of like that fairy tale aspect of it. So because I haven't played it, I don't know how it ends or anything like that. But the fact that it's getting an expansion is pretty cool. It's nice, to see that there's the game received so much positive reception that the devs wanted to go back and do some more with the game. So I'm definitely pleased to see that. Obviously, I won't be getting this until after I finish, playing the base game. But I'm very thrilled to see that there's more to come from this.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've only ever played the demo for Lies of P, and I didn't even finish it. I mean, because I'm pretty sure it just went through like the first boss, and I didn't beat the boss. I tried once or twice and didn't try again after that. But at that point, I hadn't beaten any Souls-like, so I was less determined on that front. But yeah, I want to play Lazapi eventually, but it's another one where I'm just watching out for like a really good sale and waiting until I'm ready to play something like that, because it looks great. It ran well on the Steam Deck from what I played. I think I might have even been able to get 60 on that game. I may be remembering wrong on that, but I feel like I was able to get 60 on it. And yeah, so either way, I think this DLC looks neat, and yeah, I don't really have anything else to say on that front. But as for something else that looked interesting to me, I think really the rest of these are, well, these other two are ones we share. So one of those is Tides of Annihilation. And this is, well, I just think it looks great. I think it was cool. I don't know if it's a Souls-like. I didn't really look that much into it. I added it to my Steam wishlist because it is coming day one to all platforms. Obviously not confirmed yet for Switch 2, but it is at least coming to PC, PS5, and Xbox. But yeah, I think it just looks cool. So obviously this one was on your list, so you can go into your thoughts.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It looks very nice. This one, based on the gameplay, or at least the footage that they shown, it does seem to also similar, I guess you could say, to similar to Lost Soul aside, this one definitely seems to be more of just action based. It kind of seems like it's also more of like a hack and slash type of game. Maybe not as much as, say, Devil May Cry, but more akin to that than some other games. But it definitely seems very flashy, very fun, and so it caught my attention. And like you said, it's on all platforms, so hey, why not?
All right, give me your next game.
All right, last game I have, and this is more so just because I was intrigued that more is being done with, I guess you could say, the franchise, and that is Saros. Now, this is a game that is, based on what Sony said, is sort of a continuation of, or it's being built on Returnal, which is a game I haven't played, but the concept is, it's I guess you'd say a AAA roguelike in a sense, but I've heard the game is actually good. I just never got around to, buying it and trying it out. But I thought it was interesting the fact that they're, that they wanted to continue doing something with that, because with some exceptions, it doesn't seem like Sony necessarily expands upon smaller ideas or newer ideas unless they really do well, like, say, Horizon or Last of Us. It doesn't seem like they really expand too much on other ideas. So the fact that they want to do something new for the Returnal, I guess, franchise is pretty nice. And even though it was just a CGI trailer, they said they're going to have gameplay coming out later on. So maybe it's gonna be something very similar to Returnal. Maybe it's something that is different to a degree. But I feel like it definitely will be a roguelike based, especially based on the dialogue in the trailer saying, like, every time I die. So I'm like, yeah, it's a roguelike because that's the only type of time. Unless it's a Souls game when you die all the time. That's, having death as a mechanic is, something that was in Returnal. So I feel like it's going to be pretty similar.
Yeah, I agree on this one. I think I'm glad that they're continuing the same style of game, that they did with Returnal, because Returnal was something that interested me from the first time I saw it. And of course, the first time I saw it, I had no idea it would be eventually coming to PC. I still haven't played Returnal. It's been on my wish list for a long time, but the prices just never dropped to the point where I've been like, impulse buy, And, with that, it's just kind of like, it's also a matter of I want to buy it when I'm ready to play it. I want it to be something where it's like, I just want to play this game, so I will buy it and I will play it and I will enjoy it because I know I'm going to enjoy it. Everything I've heard about it has been great. The concept behind it was always intriguing to me, and as far as I know, it runs pretty well on PC. So lots of good reasons. It even technically runs on the Steam Deck. I don't think it runs the best though, so I don't know if I would try playing it there. All right, well, I should say I don't know if I would actually play it there. I would definitely try playing it and see how it goes, but anyway. So yeah, this one I think it looks like it's going to be good. But obviously all we have is the CGI trailer and just the pedigree of, what they did with Returnal to base that assumption on. And so I have confidence it's probably going to be similarly good, if not even better, than Returnal was. All right, are there any other things you wanted to cover from the state of play?
No, sir.
All right. Well, there's just a couple of like smaller announcements that I want to bring up. I don't have any trailers attached to them, but they did, of course, confirm that Stellar Blade is coming to PC. I think they said in April, maybe. I can't remember for sure. Maybe it was May, actually. I'd have to look that up. I'll probably just like put the date on screen unless you find it. But
it is June.
June. Okay, that's right. So yeah, that is coming to PC, which, we already knew was going to happen anyway. So that's not a big deal. Not a game I'm going to buy, but I think it's good that it's coming at least. It will definitely sell on PC, without question. It's probably honestly going to be one of the best-selling originally PlayStation exclusive titles, because the PC audience is very much into that kind of stuff. But then also there's, they're doing the remaster of Days Gone, which I wouldn't buy the remaster. If I'm gonna buy the game, I'm just gonna buy the regular version, because it's like, yeah, there's no point. The nice thing though, the one thing I will give them kudos for, assuming that doesn't change, which it might, is that they are not delisting the original game. They're just saying that if you want the remastered additional content, you can purchase the content separately. It's just like a DLC pack, basically. And it's like, okay, that's fine. You're not trying to get rid of the original version like they did with Horizon Zero Dawn, forcing people to buy the remaster. It's possible they've changed that since then, but yeah.
That's definitely good.
But yeah, I think that was everything. I mean, there was that Shinobi game that looked cool, but I've never played a Shinobi game, and I didn't delve the trailer, or I don't really have any specific thoughts on it. Overall, what would you say your rating was for the show? Not necessarily a number, but like, I mean, if you were going to give it like a letter grade, or...
I would have to give it... I'd have to give it a C+, to be honest. I mean, while there were definitely a lot of games shown that intrigued and interested me, I feel like what I expected from Sony was not given at all. I mean, the only first-party title they had... Well, I guess technically two because of Soros, but the only other first party they had was a remaster of a PS4 game, and not the right one, you might say. Um, I mean, honestly, I really expected to see something about regarding Wolverine. I expected to see something regarding any other titles that they haven't had in development. So the fact that they didn't show anything like that here was disappointing. And I'll take the L in expecting to see any form of Bloodborne. But even that aside, they just really didn't show anything as far as first party. I mean, I saw a meme saying that, this was the state of multiplat, just because everything pretty much was just games that are coming into every platform essentially. Um, and I mean, some stuff we already knew about, some stuff we didn't know, but I mean, it it just wasn't what I was expecting overall. So that's why, while there were things there that I liked and you know think I'll enjoy, as far as what I expected to see, is why it was quite disappointing to see. Because I mean, honestly, I feel like a lot of the stuff would have been something you'd see at when it existed, like an E3, and just like seeing general trailers being shown, not say a Sony state of play. So that's why I say a C plus.
Yeah, I can pretty much agree with that. Like, really, I think the only thing that actually got me excited in all of that, and even then it wasn't like excited, was the Sonic racing game. And even that, I'm just kind of like, I want to play it, but I'm not like, I wasn't like jumping up and down, like yelling, screaming, whatever. It was just like, oh great, they're bringing back the transform mechanics. I'm happy about that, and I definitely want to play it. But like, most of the stuff was stuff we'd already seen. Or, well, I should say there were quite a few things that we'd already seen. Like Hell Is Us was one of the things that they showed that, of course, I've been interested in that one. And then, like, Lost Soul aside, I already knew about that game. I had already seen enough about it before to where I was like, okay, this looks cool. There was, like, a couple games we talked about that were cool, but nothing where I was like, this blows me away. It's just more like, oh, that looks neat. I think I'll check that out. Added to my Steam wish list. And like you said, state of multiplat. That's basically what it was. It was just a bunch of multiplat games. I mean, I think the only ones... No, I don't think there was a single game on there that was exclusive to PlayStation, except maybe Saros. And even that, I mean, it will come to PC. It's just a question of whether it's going to be a day one thing. They didn't say it was, but that doesn't mean it isn't. It may be that they're just kind of slowly easing people into the idea of it coming to PC day one. Because we know it's going to be PS5 and PS5 Pro enhanced, but, all we've seen is a cinematic trailer so far. And sometimes they wait to break the news until they've given PlayStation fans a chance to just ease them into the idea, because I think that it could be a day one PC game, and it's over a year away. So, or well, I guess I should say it's at least a year away, unless it comes out in like January next year, which is unlikely. So, but yeah, nothing that was like overly exciting. Obviously, both of us would have loved to see Bloodborne. Honestly, I also just would have liked to see some more like exciting things. It's just there's a whole lot of games where just very samey. The one that probably impressed me the least of all was a game called Mind's Eye. It's like, it was basically just like a cinematic trailer of this guy with like a chip in his neck and stuff, and it wasn't really I mean, the only gameplay that they were showing in the actual trailer was just him driving a car, and it's like, okay. And then, after that they showed some actual gameplay, but the gameplay was exceedingly generic. Like, not even good. Like, visually it looked nice, but the gameplay is just a third-person shooter, and a third-person cover-based shooter. and it didn't look like there was anything unique about it. It was just like, this is the most generic thing I've seen. I mean, the story might be interesting, but the gameplay itself was, I mean, it was just the most cut. It felt like it was the most cut and paste that I've seen in a while. Not quite as bad as the day before, you know, it was just like all over the place in terms of what it was showing, and was just an Unreal Engine asset flip. I mean, this one looks like at least it's an actual designed game. It's just the gameplay doesn't look particularly interesting. So, but yeah, I think that's all I got to say on the state of play.